Welcome to Infidelity Truths. Before we dive into today's gripping story, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us create more thrilling stories just for you. Let's begin. The clock in the grand estate struck 9 p.m., its deep chime echoing softly through the hallways of the Ashford mansion. Liana Mercer, just 27, gently turned the last page of The Velveteen Rabbit, her voice soothing as she read the final line. Curled up beside her in the oversized California king bed was 6-year-old Aria Ashford, her tiny fingers gripping a worn-out stuffed bear. "Just one more story, please," Aria whispered, her heavy-lidded eyes filled with hope. Liana smiled, brushing a lock of silky dark hair from the little girl's forehead. "You've had 3 stories already, sweetheart. It's time for sleep." "But Daddy said he'd come home early tonight," Aria mumbled, disappointment lacing her voice. Liana's smile faded slightly. She knew better. Killian Ashford, the elusive and ruthless CEO of Ashford Tech, rarely made it home before midnight. In the 3 months Liana had worked as Aria's live-in nanny, she had seen more of him in Forbes than in person. Yet still, Aria waited for him every night, just in case. With a soft sigh, Liana settled against the headboard. "Okay," she whispered. "We'll wait a little longer, but just until you fall asleep." Aria's face lit up with a sleepy kind of joy. She scooted closer, resting her head on Liana's shoulder as silence wrapped around them like a blanket. The master bedroom was sleek and masculine, navy linens, dark walnut furniture, and the faint scent of cedar and cologne in the air. Liana told herself she'd move Aria once she nodded off. But as the minutes passed, the softness of the bed and the warmth of the little girl beside her lulled Liana into a half-sleep. Then everything changed. The sound of a key turning in the lock, the creak of the bedroom door opening, and then the shift in the air, the presence of someone else. Liana's eyes snapped open. There he was. Killian Ashford stood in the doorway, 6 feet 3 inches, his suit jacket slung over one arm, his tailored dark hair slightly tousled from the wind outside. His intense blue eyes landed on her and stayed. For a moment, neither of them moved. Then she sat up too quickly, trying not to wake Aria. "Mr. Ashford, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to." He held up a hand, silencing her, his expression unreadable. But instead of anger, there was something else in his eyes, something softer. He looked at his daughter, asleep between them, clutching Liana's sleeve as if it were the only safe thing in the world. And in that moment, something shifted. It was the beginning of a story neither of them saw coming. A story that began not with a grand gesture, but with a little girl who refused to sleep, and 2 strangers who never expected to find something real in the quiet of a late evening. Liana hadn't meant to cross a line that night, but something had changed, and there was no going back. The next morning, she woke alone in the master bedroom, sunlight streaming through the tall windows. A neatly folded blanket covered her, and Aria was gone. For a moment, panic gripped her chest until she spotted the note on the nightstand. In Killian Ashford's bold handwriting, it read, "Had an early meeting. Aria's in her room, still asleep. We should talk. My office, 7 p.m. Liana stared at the words, her heart pounding. She had never been invited to his office before, and certainly not after spending the night, accidentally or not, in his bed. All day, her nerves were on edge. The staff, once polite, professional, now watched her closely. Whispers followed her down the hall like shadows. Even Aria's private tutor paused too long when Killian called mid-lesson, something he had never done before. At dinner, Aria was unusually quiet, pushing peas around her plate with the back of her fork. "Is something wrong, sweetie?" Liana asked softly. Aria looked up, her big blue eyes mirroring her father's. "Was Daddy really here last night?" I thought maybe I dreamed it." Liana reached across the table, brushing a hand over Aria's hair. "He was, and he carried you back to your room this morning." Aria smiled, a small, unsure smile, but real. "He kissed my forehead." That tiny spark of joy, it shattered something inside Liana. For weeks, she had watched this little girl wait for a father who never came, carry the weight of abandonment far too heavy for someone barely 4 feet tall. And now there was hope. Fragile but alive. At exactly 6:59 p.m., Liana stood outside Killian's office door, smoothing her navy dress, her hands trembling. She had played this conversation in her head all day. Maybe he was angry. Maybe he was letting her go. But when she stepped inside, nothing went the way she expected. Killian wasn't behind his massive desk. He was seated by the fireplace, sleeves rolled to his elbows, a tumbler of untouched scotch beside him. He looked tired but open, in a way Liana had never seen before. "You've been good for her," he said without preamble. "Since you arrived, Arya's been laughing again. Sleeping through the night. No more anxiety attacks." Liana blinked, caught off guard. She's an amazing child. She just needed someone to be present. Killian's jaw tensed. And I wasn't. He stood, walked to the window, watching the sun dip below the skyline. "I thought keeping my distance protected her, but last night, seeing her sleep peacefully for the first time in months, beside you, I realized how wrong I've been." The silence between them was thick. Liana didn't dare speak. Then he turned, his eyes locking onto hers. "You gave her something I couldn't." Liana's throat tightened. "You're her father. She adores you. She just wants to be part of your world." Killian stepped closer. "And you?" The question lingered in the air, heavy and electric. Liana didn't know the answer yet, but deep in her heart she could feel it forming, and it scared her more than anything. As the SUV carried them back to the estate, the weight of the past week still lingered in the air. The mansion, once a place of uncertainty for Emily, now felt like home. But as they pulled into the long driveway, the looming gates and the grand structure ahead reminded her that peace was always temporary in Nathaniel's world. Nathaniel reached for her hand, his grip firm yet reassuring. "No matter what happens next, we face it together." Emily nodded, but deep down, she knew their battle wasn't entirely over. Vanessa might have been exposed, Rachel might have lost her case, but power-hungry people like them never disappeared quietly. As they stepped inside, the familiar scent of cedar and vanilla wrapped around them. The staff, who once watched Emily with skepticism, now greeted her with warm smiles. Sophie ran ahead, her laughter filling the halls as if reclaiming the childhood she had almost lost. But just as Emily allowed herself a moment to breathe, a shadow crossed the doorway. "Welcome home, Nathaniel," a voice purred. "Vanessa Blake." She stood there, draped in an emerald green dress that hugged her curves, her smirk as poisonous as ever. Nathaniel's body tensed beside Emily, his jaw tightening. "You have no right to be here," he said coldly. Vanessa stepped forward, heels clicking against the marble floor. "Oh, but I do. You see, while you were playing house in the woods, I was making deals. And this time, Nathaniel, I didn't lose." Emily felt the tension crackle like static electricity. She glanced at Nathaniel, searching for any sign of what Vanessa could mean. Vanessa leaned in slightly, lowering her voice. "You really thought I'd go down that easily? That I'd just disappear?" She chuckled. "Sweetheart, I'm not the type to walk away without a fight." Nathaniel's hands curled into fists. "What did you do?" Vanessa reached into her designer purse and pulled out a sleek black folder. She tossed it onto the table between them. "I bought out your biggest investors. Your board members? Let's just say loyalty shifts when money speaks. By tomorrow morning, the headlines will read that Nathaniel Reed has officially lost control of Reed Tech." Emily's stomach dropped. "You're lying." Vanessa's smirk widened. "Am I? Open it. See for yourself." Nathaniel exhaled sharply before flipping the folder open. His eyes scanned the documents, his face unreadable. Emily held her breath. When he finally looked up, his expression was dark. "You really think taking my company will break me?" he asked, voice low and lethal. Vanessa shrugged. "Oh, darling, this isn't just about breaking you. It's about making sure you understand that I always win in the end." Sophie's distant laughter echoed from upstairs, a stark contrast to the battle unfolding below. Emily stepped forward, anger replacing her fear. "You may have taken the company, Vanessa, but you'll never have what really matters. Vanessa's eyes flicked to Emily, amusement dancing in their depths. And what would that be? Love? Family? She let out a soft laugh. Oh, sweetheart, fairy tales don't last. Nathaniel closed the folder with a snap. Neither do empires built on blackmail and greed. Vanessa's smirk faltered just slightly, but she recovered quickly. We'll see about that. With a slow turn, she strutted toward the door, pausing only once to throw a final dagger. Enjoy your fairy tale while it lasts, Nathaniel. Because the real war, it's just beginning. As the door shut behind her, Emily turned to Nathaniel. What do we do now? Nathaniel exhaled, setting the folder down. Then he looked at Emily, his expression determined. We fight back. As the weight of Vanessa's threat loomed over them, Nathaniel and Emily refused to back down. They spent the next few days strategizing, reaching out to allies and uncovering the hidden betrayals within Reed Tech. Nathaniel's legal team worked tirelessly to expose Vanessa's underhanded tactics, while Emily stood by his side, proving that their strength wasn't just in business, but in their bond as a family. One evening, as they sat together in the study, Nathaniel turned to Emily, his gaze filled with both determination and something softer. No matter what happens, I won't let her win. I won't let her take away what we've built. Emily smiled, placing her hand over his. We'll fight together. For Sophie. For us. Days turned into weeks, and the storm Vanessa had unleashed began to crumble under its own weight. The press uncovered the truth. Her manipulations, the blackmail, the fraudulent deals she had orchestrated. One by one, the board members who had turned on Nathaniel reversed their stance, realizing they had been pawns in Vanessa's game. By the end of the month, Nathaniel had regained control of his company, and Vanessa was facing legal repercussions that would ensure she never had power over them again. The night Nathaniel officially reclaimed Reed Tech, he found Emily in the nursery, tucking Sophie into bed. He leaned against the doorframe, watching as Emily whispered something to Sophie, making her giggle sleepily. She loves you, he said softly once Emily stood. Emily turned, meeting his eyes. And I love her. Nathaniel took a step closer, his hand cupping her face gently. And I love you. Emily's breath hitched, and before she could respond, his lips met hers in a kiss that held every unspoken word, every shared struggle, every moment they had fought for this happiness. When they finally pulled apart, Nathaniel rested his forehead against hers. Marry me. Emily let out a soft, breathless laugh. Are you serious? He nodded. I've never been more sure of anything. You and Sophie, you're my family, my home. Tears welled in Emily's eyes, but they were tears of joy. Yes, she whispered. 1,000 times. Yes. Sophie stirred slightly, her little voice murmuring, What's happening? Nathaniel grinned, lifting her into his arms. Princess, how would you feel if Emily became part of our family forever? Sophie blinked sleepily, then smiled. She already is. Emily laughed through her tears, hugging them both as a wave of warmth and happiness filled the room. The battles were over. The shadows had passed. And finally, they could step into the light as a family, together forever. The moral lesson of the story is that true love is built on trust, sacrifice, and perseverance. Emily and Nathaniel faced numerous challenges, betrayal, manipulation, and threats, but they overcame them by standing together. Their journey shows that love isn't just about passion, it's about commitment, selflessness, and fighting for what truly matters. Additionally, the story teaches that family is not just about blood, but about the people who choose to stay, protect, and love unconditionally. A heartfelt thank you to my amazing subscribers. Hello, Infidelity Truth family. I just want to take a moment to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. Your support, your likes, your shares, and your incredible comments mean the world to me. Every time you hit that play button, every time you engage with my content, you're helping this channel grow, and I couldn't do this without you. This journey wouldn't be the same without each and every one of you. Whether you've been here from the start or just joined, you are a part of this amazing community. Your love and encouragement keep me inspired to create even more exciting content for you. So if you're watching this, drop a fire love in the comments and let me know where you're watching from. Let's keep this journey going together, bigger and better. Don't forget to hit that like button, share this with someone who'd love it, and if you haven't yet, subscribe because the best is yet to come. Much love and appreciation, Infidelity Truths. And